Hi, my name is Adriana, and this is my naturalistic observations main discussion. I chose to see how many people would be on their phones wherever I was. I would observe the genders, ages, and how many people they were with. I chose this because I'm usually on my phone everywhere I go. I usually see other people on their phone, and I thought this would be easiest because I don't really go anywhere except for home and back to school. So the locations where I observed and the times were the early college, which is the school I go to, and the time is usually 2:50 because our school ends just a bit earlier than the regular high school does, but kids usually leave early at about like 2:45 or 2:41, usually before 2:50. My second location would be the high school, and I usually walk up to the high school to get to the buses, and I usually see kids leaving through the pickup line coming out of the office or the cafeteria. This time would usually be around 2:51 or maybe a little later, depending on how far I have gotten. And the third location would be at Over Mountain Vineyards, a place where my brother works, a winery, and we usually go pick him up at work at about 4:50. For my first observation, which was at my school, the early college, at about 2:43 I saw two male-aged, both 14, walking out on their phones. 1 minute later, about 2:44, I saw one female walking out with her phone, but she put it away just like a couple seconds later. She might have been changing a song or texting somebody, but she wasn't on it for very long. Then at about 2:45, 3 females walked out on their phones. 2 were 15 and the other was 16. At that same time, there were 3 male freshmen walking out, all aged 14, and none of them being on their phones. And there's a couple more, I think 2 girls, they're twins, sisters, and they both walked out at about 2:46, I think. Right behind me, they were also on their phones, and another boy, I think he was 14, and he had walked out on his phone talking. And for my second observation, which was at the high school, while I was walking up to the office, I saw a male police officer coming out of the building on a phone call. Around that same time, 2 females, maybe 15 or 14, walking out on their phones. Then at 2:50, I saw a boy who was right in front of me, 6 feet away, of course. He was playing a game on his phone while walking out to the buses. Around that same time, I could also see a group of boys playing the same game the other boy was playing, which was Among Us, in a classroom, all like 6 feet apart, but like together. They were also talking about the game. I could also see 6 feet away a group of girls just talking. They weren't on their phones. There were about like maybe 5 or 4 of them just talking. For my third observation, which was at Over Mountain Vineyards at about 5:21 p.m., I saw 2 women texting. They looked very young. I don't think they were older than 30. I also saw 4 men walking towards the grapevines. 2 were farther behind them, talking on their phones, but still talking with the other men, like occasionally. And then I saw a man sitting alone while drinking while on his phone. Then I saw a group of 6 women, all older, maybe like 40 or 50, and on their phones while waiting to be seated. A girl by herself, maybe older than 25, on her phone. Also, the owners were watching over the place, and they were also talking on the phone while like doing little errands for the servers or grabbing drinks. Out of all the observations, I think that it might have depended on if they were alone or not, because most of the people who were alone were on their phone, and many of the people who weren't alone, they were probably talking, and if they were on their phone, they were probably doing something on their phone, but doing it together, like maybe playing a game like the boys in my second observation.